Hey guys, Gino Zero. Mid-morning coffee break. Holy crap, that's good coffee. You know, there was a time, and it wasn't that long ago, when self-sufficiency was the norm. It was normal to be self-sufficient. And money was thought of as an extra thing. Money was good to get. You know, you could get a hold of a little bit of money, you could buy some extra things. But for the most part, your heat, your food, your clothing, those kind of things, you either grew it, you made it, you were self-sufficient in the fact that, you were fed and you were roofed and you were warm. That was kind of, everybody's personal responsibility. And it just amazes me in the society that we live in today, how far away from that we've gotten. And those of us nowadays who strive to be self-sufficient we're seen as different, or I don't know how we're seen. In my case, they just see us as, dumb old hillbillies out here on the creek. And forgive the noise, there's a tractor down in the plowing one of the fields down the creek a ways. But it just amazes me how things have changed. I was talking with a good friend, Gravy, a couple of days ago, and she was telling me that there was a time that if you had dinner guests over and you could serve fresh cucumbers, you were considered to be wealthy. You were considered to be rich. You were in tall cotton. And it just amazes me how different the world is and how things change. And what I've learned with my experience over the past 7 years since my wife has become disabled, is you have to recognize what you can, truly live without. What's necessity and what's luxury, and then start weeding out the luxury things that aren't really necessary. The very first thing for us to go was the cable TV or the satellite TV that we had. And you know what? I don't miss it. I don't miss it one bit. I can get more news and more information off of the internet, and from my friends and different websites. You can watch TV shows on the internet. So that $40 or $50 a month, whatever your cable bill is or your satellite bill is, really why? Because you can't watch your favorite show the very night that it comes out. You got to wait for a couple of days for it to come on the internet. Well, to me, that's just not worth $40 or $50 a month. And, one of the things that you got to kind of learn to live without, or at least I had to learn to live without, was money, was having access to money. The life that I was living with, Lupita was working. We had access to money. She was making income, I was making income. And then when all of a sudden, just one day, from the time I kissed her in the morning, when she went to work, that was it. That was it. There was no more. That was it. No more income. And you got to learn I had to learn how to deal with a lot of that stuff. So that's why we grow big gardens. That's why we can, when we find stuff on sale. We try to preserve. We have the smokehouse. I got some fruit trees. Hopefully some fruit trees coming, and stuff like that. So it's just trying to. I'm working very hard to try to be like they used to be 100 years ago, or even 50 years ago, self-sufficient. Now I find that really ironic to have to work to try to digress. But anyhow, I will eventually, get there. I'm whittling away at it little by little. Be getting the goats. I'm going to get, some more solar panels and more batteries so that I can tell the electric company, have a nice day. Your services are no longer needed. Those are just. I was thinking about that. I've been thinking about that the last couple of days. And I know there's a lot of people who really, really stress themselves out and worry about money or lack thereof. And I know, man, I used to worry until I would get migraines. I would literally get ill. I would feel it in my guts. What am I going to do? I don't have any money. How are we going to eat? And then one day, I'm like, this is not helping at all. It does not help. Worrying yourself to death and making yourself sick and crabby does no good. It does absolutely no good, because you could worry and stress and until you puke, but it's not going to make any money magically appear. And at that time, I didn't have good friends who were willing to help me out, especially the friends that I've made on YouTube and my viewers and stuff. I didn't have people who were willing to help me out. And one day I just said, that's enough. I'm not going to get sick over this. I'm not going to, have my blood pressure up all the time because I'm worried about, having to, pay the phone bill and the electric bill and all this other kind of stuff. What do we really have to have? Well, right now we have to have electricity. We have to have the city water that we're hooked up to. That's it. I've got my internet bill, and I pay $7 a month for Netflix so the kids can watch Netflix, and that's about it. I mean, and that's what that's what we roll with. And sometimes it's a struggle to even keep those paid up because of not having any income. But I'm not complaining. It is what it is, and we're comfortable and we're happy with the life that we have. But there comes a point to where if you're worried about money and you're stressing out about your finances, then it's time to take a look at them and start chipping away at them, because every single penny that you do not have to pay out to somebody else is one more penny you get to keep in your pocket. So the less you have going out, the better off you're going to be. And whether that is growing, even growing, if you live in the city, even growing a couple of tomatoes, in front of your window in planter boxes or in pots or something. If you grow $20 worth of tomatoes, you save yourself $20 over the course of the summer. Well, that's $20 you get to keep in your pocket, man. I don't know, where I'm going with this. These are just random thoughts that I was having about, people who are striving to be self-sufficient and people who are completely self-sufficient. We're kind of seen as different until something happens. Big clue was last summer when we had the big storms come through, and we're normally, what the people around here would consider, the have-nots. But as soon as the power went out, and we were still eating ice cream and enjoying life, and nothing really changed, well, all of a sudden we went from the have-nots to the haves, and it's just I don't know. I think I would rather be the way that we are and continue to try to be self-sufficient rather than trying to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, because it's just not worth it. All the stress, is just not, people ask me why I don't have a cell phone. I don't need a cell phone. For what? I like slow and simple. I don't want to be, contacted all the time. There's always buzzing or going off because somebody's texting you or, emails or whatever crap them things do. I like slow and simple. I don't want to be, constantly in the rat race, constantly connected to the, to the grid with your texting and the talking and all that. No thanks. No thanks. That's why I don't do the Facebook and the tweeters and that kinds of stuff, because I do YouTube videos, and that's probably more than I should do, but we do have the internet service, so I will try to use it. But anyway, like I say, I'm rambling, and if you find that your life is going too fast, then slow down. I don't know how else to say it. Slow down, take a look at it, get it all together, ask the good Lord upstairs for some help, and He'll give it to you. Get control of it. Don't let it stress you out, man. It's your life. Don't let it stress you out. Take control of it and get it together. And I know that's easier said than done, but I wouldn't say it if I hadn't already done it. And I know it's hard, and it's not an easy thing to do, and it'll take some while to adjust. But you can do it. And always remember, if I can do it, you can do it. Because I'm nothing special. I am by no means smart or any of that kind of stuff. I'm just a dude. And dude sharing my experiences, and this is what it took for us. So anyway, guys, I'll leave a link to the coffee as always for the coffee chats. Thanks for watching. Putting the finishing touches on a new public service announcement. I know it's been a long time. I've been getting some questions about it, and it may be out even this evening. So keep an eye out. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. God bless in the end. Buzz, buzz, the end.